Hi everybody, my name is Erin and welcome to my channel 3 Cats Stitching. This is a channel where I speak predominantly about cross stitch. Occasionally one of my 3 cats or all of my 3 cats will make an appearance. However, I am sitting in front of my bookshelf today, which means they cannot be involved, and I'm very sorry. I had put my chair in front of my bookshelf before filming, and 2 of my 3 cats were using it as an opportunity to sniff high up. So I might have put a video of that at the beginning of this, or if not, I'll put it at the end. I am in front of my bookshelf today. I don't think I'm going to be talking about any books, but if you would like to know, these books in a rainbow shelf are my Canlit books that I love deeply. These books here are just general fiction and nonfiction that I've loved deeply. We have some spillover down here, and then my to be read pile is right there. I can talk about books if you want me to. In my first video I did mention that I had a booktube channel. It's called Your Book Friend, but I have since hidden most of the videos. Talking about books wasn't giving me as much joy as I wanted it to, and so I paused that, but I do have a Bookstagram account, same name, Your Book Friend. I'll leave it linked down below, where you can find me occasionally talking about books on the internet. All of the posts are still there, so if you need a good book recommendation, especially Canadian literature, which is something I'm passionate about, you can look there. This is my stitching video. I am on time, 2 weeks from my last video, and I always think I don't have that much to talk about, but then I pile everything together, and I do. I have a ton of stuff. First off, I'm coming to you with a question and asking for an opinion. My friend, my new friend, Marjorie of Marjorie Made, is hosting a SAL of Sprouting Lupine's Love Bug Sampler. It looks like this. It is everything that I didn't think I was as a stitcher. Bugs, no thanks. Pinks, also not really, no thanks. Both of those things have changed because of the sampler. I love this so much. I cannot wait to stitch it. The praying mantis that's at the top, I already want to pull out of the pattern and stitch on a piece of fabric that I dyed purple with blueberries. I'll talk about that at another time. People are dyeing their fabrics with appropriate dyeing material, and I use the fruit and vegetables in my fridge. The piece of fabric turned out really great, spectacular, but I haven't known what to stitch on it because it's a small piece of fabric, and I was just experimenting. I do apologize if you hear a lot of noise. I live very high up in an apartment building that faces another apartment building, and so any noise from below tends to just funnel up. We're currently in a snowstorm, so there's plows at the regular, but I really wanted to film today, and so hopefully I can just deal with that post filming and editing. But yes, so this is the sampler, and I have too many options, I think, is my problem. I have a number of different fabric choices, and so I would love your help. So I have 2 greens, and I am going to be stitching this in the DMC floss way. So I'll do my best to show you these. So there's these 3 colors as well as this, and then it calls for DMC Blanc, but my new favorite white in the entire world is Snowy Owl by Roxy Floss Co. So I picked up another skein of that, and so these will be the colors. So the 2 greens that I have, one is a yellow green and one is a green green, and I just love green with pink because it's bugs the green could be representing a garden. So this is 28 count Zweigart in the colorway Laurel Green. This is the yellow green. It's very much like dead grass. But I think the colors look pretty nice on it. It's reading a bit more green in the camera, probably just because the lighting is a bit garbage today. But that is Laurel Green. This will also, 3 out of the 4 options are 28 count. So it's very likely that this will be my first experience on something that is not Aida, which I think is really fun and exciting potentially for me. So that is option number 1. Option number 2 is this 18 count printed fabric from dovestitch.com, and this is in the colorway, as they've called it, forest green. To me, forest green feels like it should be a little bit darker, but who am I to complain? And so that is, or this is, this is what the colors will look like on here. And this is reading quite true. It just feels, to me, maybe a little bit too dull. Oh my god, there has to be a better way than this, you know? So, and I also have a light on that's kind of casting a bit of a yellow shadow, so I'll try to put it toward like the actual real life light. So I do love that very much. But you see, the two, so this would be the Aida option, which would keep me in my comfort zone. And, you know, I would appreciate that, yes, but I also am interested to try, it's kind of my goal this year to try an 18 count. And so my 2 gray options, I have a billion like yards of both of these fabrics, which is kind of why I want to choose them. And I also love pinks and grays. So this is a 28 count smoky gray from Zweigart. And so those are the colors on that. It's light, it's quite a light gray. And then I also have a billion yards of 28 count smoky pearl because again, I thought I wanted to stitch Pandemic on a gray, but I didn't want Pandemic to be my first piece. Oop, dang. Then I decided I didn't want Pandemic to be the first piece that I stitched on a fabric that I wasn't comfortable with. So I have a gazillion billion yards of both of these colors, and then both of the greens. So I know that maybe wasn't the best way to show you. You can tell me your opinion. I want to know. I'm lost. I'm gonna change my mind every day until February if I don't have some guidance. So please feel free to leave your opinions below. That stitch along, again, hosted by Marjorie of Marjorie Made. The hashtag will be Lovebugssal, Lovebugssal, and it starts on February 1st. I am so pumped and jazzed and excited and all of the things about it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay. Now on to the stitching. So I haven't stitched on many projects, but I do have 2 new starts because this whole like 1 new start thing a month. I convinced myself that my New Year New Start didn't count as a start this month, and then I allowed myself 2. So my focus whip for the month of January is Jour, which is by 2x2 cross stitch art on Etsy. She is just a joy, and there is a part of me that for whatever reason, was really not like pulling her toward the end of last year. I think that I was just like overwhelmed with all of like the starts and all of the patterns that I was buying and starting all the things and doing all the things, that she kind of got put to the wayside. But then I realized that she is my current oldest WIP, and her first birthday is coming up soon. I started her on May 29th on 18 count antique white Aida. And so I wanted her to be finished before the 1 year anniversary. And stitching on her this month, I've stitched 14 out of my 15 days. And I get tired of stitching on her because it's all one color, but I love her. And so I'll just show you her now. So here we are. So I have made it to the bottom. And I have filled in a significant portion of her dress, and I've gone and pulled down the portion that she's holding in her hand. I think last time I was in the middle of stitching her arm, or I hadn't yet, but there was a period of time where her arm just did not look appropriate. Like I think it was like here, and it was just getting like bigger, like 10 stitches wide. I was like, is this charted correctly? But now it looks beautiful. And so I have, you know, essentially 1 day left this month where I am trying to make a focus on her. Usually I try 50 stitches or more. I've had a number of days at this point where I am like 200, 300 stitches. 24 hours of cross stitches happening right now. And my goal, like my soft goal, was to do a little bit more and to put 500 stitches in. I have 433 stitches in for the weekend, and I'll hit that today. I'll put the rest in. I'm probably going to go for my stretch goal of 70% completed because she's currently at 63.9%. So I have a few days left in the month, and I reached my 15, and stitching on her is easy at this point. I know what to expect from the pattern, and I just love it, and I really want it to be completed. And so I don't think that I'll finish her this month. I still have quite a long ways to go. I don't know if I said my stretch goal was to get 70%, and then I'll probably pick her up again in March or April to finish out that 30% if I don't continue to pull her out in February, because stitching on her has been a dream. The only thing that I'm kind of thinking at this point in time is her dress is very, very dense, and I thought the border would be the issue for me because it's the same motifs all the way down and around. But now that I'm at the bottom of the border, I think I'm going to just focus on the dress, and when I need like a reprieve from that, I'll stitch a motif on the border. I was stitching like a motif or two of the border every time I picked it up just to get it done, but now all that's left is her dress. So I am going to probably need a bit of a break from that as we get closer and closer to the end. It's just very dense in her dress. So I'm gonna do my best to get to 70% this month. And then I only have 30% to go, and she could be finished before the year. The second project that I'm looking at finishing before the year is up, so I put a couple more days into it since my last video, is the Dimensions Gold Collection Christmas Village Ornaments. I am stitching this blue house. And so it came with 18 count ivory Aida that was just very, very stiff, and I wasn't enjoying stitching on it. So I restarted it on a 16 count, so this will be quite a bit bigger than it's intended, but here it is. So this time I filled in the windowsills, I filled in the wreath, and I pulled the door down, and now I'm gonna work on the porch. This sort of area, as well as here, the pattern has a lot of back stitching over it, so I'm having a bit of trouble reading it, and so I want to pick this up and do easy stitches at the moment. And so I'm just going to pull down all the big blocks of color and then really sit down and do all those, like, one stitch here, one stitch there, confetti heavy, back stitch heavy spots. But I'm absolutely loving this. So this, it's on a light blue Aida 16 count, and I really, really love it. I don't know if I'll finish it as an ornament because it'll be, you know, it'll probably come down to about here. That's quite big, but I'll find a way to frame it cute and take it out, put it up when it's snowy outside. I started this on June 9th in 2021, and I would absolutely love to have this finished before June 9th of this year, and I would like to start another one and hopefully be able to gift one for Christmas this year. I kind of promised a lot of people these I think I'm saying I started these in 2021. I started them last year. So I started Le Jour May 29th, 2022, and I started this on June 9th, 2022. I don't currently have any WIPS from before last year. Everything that I had there I finished and or probably gave away, or realized that I wasn't enjoying stitching, and so I have plans to restart them on like a higher count fabric or something like that. So you'll probably see those sometime this year. So yeah, I did promise a kind of an ornament for everybody in my family, so I should probably at least give one away this year. And that way I can kind of keep going. The one thing that might be a bit of a struggle for me is stitching on like a Christmas piece in the spring, but I don't really think I'm a seasonal stitcher. I think I just love to stitch, and I just kind of go with what I feel like. The first few days of making Le Jour Focus Whip, I was like, ugh, but now I really enjoy stitching on her. And if I'm not interested in stitching on her, I just pick up whatever else I'm thinking and dreaming of. So stitching is still a very relaxed hobby for me, as it should be. And I'm just trying really hard to have like a Focus Whip every month, just to make like significant progress on a piece that I love. The next piece that I started or continued working on, I didn't get a whole lot done on, is Autumn Towne by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I am stitching this with a Leo and Roxy, or a Roxy Floss Co. Conversion. So the only floss that I'm not using from my Leo Roxy or Roxy Floss Co. conversion is the Call for DMC for the Sky, because the Roxy Floss Co. Sky color, I was worried it wouldn't show up because this is a bright fabric. It is a 20 count printed Aida from Easy Stitch for Fun. It's just called green with a bunch of searchable terms beside it. But I stitched a little bit on this, and my issue is like that sky color is pretty similar to the Le Jour color, which I'm stitching in 809 DMC, and so it's really hard to convince myself to go from blue on white to blue on green, because I'm kind of running across the top and then filling in the bubbles of trees, and so I have to do some blue fill-in to kind of get to the next tree. And yeah, going from blue on white to blue on green is just not something that I am interested in. So this will probably get a lot of work once I put Le Jour kind of not as my Focus Whip in February. So this was my New Year, New Start. And I just love the vibrancy of those colors. I thought maybe there would be a bit of an issue where the green shows through, because this is 1/1. And, you know, a little bit, but at the same time, trees aren't always full. And so that's not a problem for me. I think if there's any issue with like the housing, I might do like a 2/1 in those places just to get that full coverage. But I love this piece so much. I'm really excited to get back to it. It'll probably get a ton of work in February because I love it. It's my new year, new start. So next up is my labor of love, which is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. This was supposed to be my birthday start in 2020, but I had such an issue choosing fabric that I didn't start it until October. And my birthday's in July, the beginning of July. My birthday's on Independence Day. And I had such an issue choosing fabric that I waited until all the way in October to start. I am working on this for, like, I have a timer on my phone, and every 10 hours I want to take a progress photo to post on Instagram. And so in one of my last videos, I said I wasn't going to show it until that 10 hours was up. But I think showing this will encourage me. I think you stitch so much and yet you see so little progress that maybe just the continued showing and then again only posting on Instagram at that 10-hour mark will be good. So I'm stitching this on a 20 count Vintage Country Mocha Aida with DMC 3799 and 501. So this is where I am. It looks like not straight, but it's just because I have it pulled really tight in the Q-snap. There's so much like fabric that I'm kind of having a hard time stitching on it. Like I have an 11 by 11 Q-snap and I'm just like, it's not easy to pick up, and I can't really put it in anything smaller. But the past few weeks since my last video, I have picked it up a couple of times. So I've begun to pull this border down, which is easy stitching. I've stitched these motifs in here. I've stitched all of this, and I'm starting to do these hearts, which this is repeated 4 times. This is like a big motif that's all attached, and those hearts are a lot of stitches. And so I was kind of, you can see I was all the way over here and everything like that. And so I was kind of moving all over the place, but I just told myself, girl, get it done. This is currently at like 3.89% completed. I had this very unrealistic expectation of myself that I could get this to like 50% this year, but you stitch like 300 stitches and you're like 0.2% done, like, or 0.02 percent done. There's a ton of stitches here, and so I think if I could get this to maybe 15 or 20% by the end of the year, I think I'll be happy with that. Just stitching away. I'll probably pull it out and make it my focus whip for a couple of months this year, because I think once I move out of this like big motif and into like all the bands and I can pull it down, I think I'll probably be a lot happier. But I can't, like, obviously I still have all this space in the Q-snap, but I'm never going to be able to move it over or down until I do this and pull this down. So that's kind of my goal. I still have 2 hours left on my 10-hour progress timer, so you'll see a photo of this on my Instagram that looks probably a little different, but not a whole lot. And yeah, I do still really love it. I love the green animals, and I'm kind of tiptoeing my way like around to stitch the animals and then going back to stitch in all of the DMC 3799. So really love it. Excited to pull it back out and just kind of get through these big motifs, and then I can move on to other things. I was looking at even those bands that come like down, and like they don't even look like they're gonna be easy to stitch, because it's like a stitch here, a stitch there, a stitch there, and then like, you know what I mean, you pull it down and then you have to go all the way back up to the other side, and it just doesn't look like it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be challenging, which is like something that I'll enjoy, kind of figuring out a good rotation, but the back of this is probably not going to be very clean. And yeah, I love it so much. And yeah, hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to pull out my pandemic and get some more stitches on it. The kind of sad part is that I have, you know, Pattern Keeper, and I'm kind of at this point where I am stitching maybe like 60 stitches at a time, and then I kind of put it down. But I think if I, you know, do 60 stitches every couple of days, I'll start to see that progress. The last couple of things I have to show you are just my 2 new starts and a little bit of haul. So looking at like my planner where I keep all of my starts, I tend to start things in like clumps. So over the course of a few days, or even in quite a few cases on the same day, I'll have multiple starts. And so this happened. This happened. I started 2 things in one day. One has significant progress, one does not. We'll start with the one that does not. So this is Heirloom Hydrangeas, Jeannette Cruz Designs. It's a booklet. It doesn't say from when. From 2002. So that one is absolutely stunning. They're all gorgeous, but I am starting with, sorry for the glare, I'm starting with this one here. So this is just called Hydrangea Square. I'm stitching it on, honestly, I don't even really know. I lost the tag for the fabric. I know it's a 16 count. It's kind of like a white beige. And I'm stitching it with the Call for DMC. So I pulled the border across and I started in on the background. I realized, I thought when I had kitted this up that I had everything, but I kind of got stalled out because right in here are 2 colors that I did not have. And I wasn't in the mood to count like 15 down to get to that border again. And so I did the border almost all the way across the top. I started that fill-in. And then I didn't have the floss that I needed. So I've also kind of started something new. I'm generally a bobbins girl. I love storing my floss on bobbins, but I really like the idea of like floss drops, and I heard from somebody who had heard from somebody. So I'm not really remembering who did what, but somebody had started pulling just a couple lengths of DMC off their bobbins and making floss cards, and I feel like that is a much more manageable solution for me. So I did put the floss on a floss drop. So those are the those are the colors. So yeah, I went to the store and bought a bunch of cardstock to kind of make these for all my projects, but this is just a one time I tried watercolor and I thought it was okay. I made a bigger version of this that I have framed that I think is a better version of it, so I didn't have a problem cutting this up. So those are the colors. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And yeah, hopefully I pull this out again now that I have the colors that I need. And I think, I don't know if I'll stitch like all of these. I don't think I want to stitch this one. This one feels like a lot. Maybe at one point in my life I'll want to do the wreath, but I think I also do kind of want to do these 2 little guys. I think that'll be fun. And my next start is also tied into haul. So prior to the new year, when I was on my stitchy budget, I put in an order at Evertote, and I purchased the Quaker Medallion Bird in the Grapevine from Modern Folk Embroidery. I love this pattern. It's so cute. And I also put in, I bought fabric and I bought floss for this. So the floss that I bought is called Jungle Nights, and it's just such a beautiful, it's like a greeny blue, like a deep, deep turquoise color. Hold on, maybe if I get my face out of here, it'll, oh, there you go. Very, very deep, very subtle, very variegation as well. So I purchased that, and then I also purchased this, pardon me, it's in the Q-snap, because I'm going to work on it today because I'm obsessed with it. This very pink one of a kind June 2022 Roxy Floss Co. 16 count Aida. And so you can kind of see the color on this. But this is quite true to the color of the fabric. But the green is more, it's like more obviously green in person. So, oh God, I love it so much. So during 24 hours cross stitch, my goal was to complete this border. So good. So good. And so now I just have to do the inside. And yeah, I think in the next Flosstube video, this will be a finish for sure, because it stitches up so fast. And I love it. I love it so much. And I am really, really eager to keep stitching on it. So in that, in the floss fabric and pattern order that I got from Evertote, I did purchase more floss. So I did purchase another skein of Snowy Owl, but then I also purchased this gorgeous yellow called Colonel Mustard. I have no idea what I'm going to stitch, but if I had a favorite color, it's probably this. Yeah. I said that about a butter chicken, the orange, but like oranges and yellows are just, they're perfect to me. I love them. They're my favorite colors. I would stitch everything in oranges and yellows if I could, but orange and yellow are, you know, they're a bit abrasive sometimes, but yeah, I have those. And I'm kind of hoping to find like another monochromatic piece that I feel confident figuring out how to stitch two colors, because like delicious together, am I right? I'm right. I think those would look so cool. You can really see like the bluey green of this floss in this situation that I have going on. But I think for a minute I was like birds of plenty, but then I'm like, girl, don't start a second gigantic thing. That's gonna take you 100 years to finish. At least get a bit farther on pandemic before you do that. So I'm on the hunt for a pattern that I could stitch using these two colors. Preferably something smallish, but you know, it is what it is. So I started both of those things on the same day. Clearly I fell in love with one because I was waiting on floss for the other. And then in my last video as well, I said that I was waiting on something from a Stash Unload website to come. Oh, it did. I currently have quite a few full coverage kits. And I've started one. I think I also told you this in my last video that my current full coverage WIP is supposed to be my Sunday focus, but I have not picked it up at all. So maybe a Sunday focus is not, maybe that's too much focusing for me. Maybe I just need to have one focus WIP a month. I have, you know, 14 or 15 WIPs at this point, so I'm not going to get to focus on one of them, but hopefully I'll get some finishes this year, so it'll be okay. Anyway, enough of the stalling. Oh God, the glare. You can see my windows. Okay. Well, because it's snowing, it is actually so bright outside. So I turned the lamp off. So this is Cabin Fever. It's Dimensions Gold kit. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. I cannot wait to stitch this. It comes with, oh, it doesn't say. Yeah, it comes with 18 count ivory Aida and instructions. I'll probably swap it out for like the kit Aida for just like a looser Aida, because like what kills me about these kits is that it's so stiff. But my Luca S Aida is very nice. And so yeah, I'm going to start. I'm thinking about my birthday already. And my birthday, as I said, is in July. I understand the hype about having like 17 birthday starts, because I want to wait and start these big, beautiful projects for like a special occasion. But I have a Leonid Afimov chart from Heaven and Earth Designs that I bought during their like Black Friday sale where everything was 50% off. It's Night Cafe. I'll put a picture of it here. Shiloh from Cross Stitch MD and I have I'm going to start it, and she implied that she would be willing to start it for my birthday as well. Enabling her, I guess, enabling me as well. But I think I'm also going to wait and start this on my birthday as well. So I'll have 2 large full coverage starts for my birthday as somebody who only currently has 1 large full coverage chart that I'm not working on. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is my haul. The rest of my haul. That's everything that I have. Follow me on Instagram for like frequent updates. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole shebang. I love you. I love talking about stitching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks, and the next time I see you, I will have gone to the Hamilton Stitch-In, and so I'll probably have a lot to talk about, as usual. Thank you for watching. Have a great time. Bye.